Imagine waking up one day to find your entire life savings gone. Not spent on a dream vacation or a new home, but on a secret life you never knew existed. This isn't a movie plot. It's what happened to me when I uncovered a betrayal so deep, it shattered everything I thought I knew about my partner and our future. If you've ever trusted someone completely, only to discover they were wearing a mask the entire time, this story is going to hit close to home. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell, because sharing this story is part of my healing, and maybe, just maybe, it'll help someone else see the red flags I missed. The perfect life, or so I thought. My name is Sarah, and for 8 years, I thought I was living a dream. Michael and I met in our late 20s at a charity fundraiser. He was charming, successful, and had this way of making you feel like you were the only person in the room. Within 6 months, we were inseparable. Within 2 years, we were engaged. By year 3, we were married in a beautiful ceremony surrounded by everyone we loved. We weren't wealthy, but we were comfortable. I worked as a registered nurse, pulling long shifts at the hospital, while Michael was a regional sales manager for a pharmaceutical company. We lived in a modest 3-bedroom house in the suburbs, drove sensible cars, and saved religiously. Every month, without fail, we transferred money into our joint savings account. It was our future, the down payment on our dream home, the safety net for starting a family, maybe even early retirement if we played our cards right. Michael was meticulous about our finances. He'd spend hours reviewing statements, optimizing our budget, talking about compound interest and investment opportunities. I trusted him completely. Why wouldn't I? He was my husband, my partner, my best friend. When he suggested he handle most of the financial planning since he had a knack for numbers, I didn't think twice. I was working 60-hour weeks at the hospital. Having him manage the details felt like a relief. That trust? It was the foundation he built his house of lies on. The day everything changed. It was a Tuesday in March, unremarkable in every way, except that it would become the day my entire world imploded. I was on a rare day off, lounging in our living room with my laptop, mindlessly scrolling through emails. I'd been thinking about our savings lately. We'd been contributing for nearly 8 years, and I wanted to see how close we were to our goal of $150,000. My goal was at a sales conference 3 states away, or so I thought. I logged into our joint bank account, expecting to see that beautiful number we'd been building together. My heart was already swelling with pride at what we'd accomplished. The screen loaded. My eyes scanned to the balance, $247.83. I blinked, refreshed the page, checked the account number. This had to be wrong, some kind of banking error. There was supposed to be over $140,000 in this account. We just deposited another $3,000 the month before. My hands started shaking as I clicked through the transaction history. What I saw made my stomach drop. Dozens of transfers, hundreds of them. Money flowing out like water from a broken dam, going back months? No, years. $5,000 here, $8,000 there, $12,000 to something called Riverside Properties, LLC, $7,500 to Emerald Coast Rentals, $15,000 to a name I didn't recognize. Amanda Castellano. Amanda Castellano. If you're feeling that sinking feeling in your stomach right now, imagine living it. Please hit that subscribe button. You'll want to hear how this ends. The investigation began. I couldn't breathe. My vision was tunneling. I ran to the bathroom and threw up. When I finally composed myself, I did what any person in shock would do. I started digging. I called our bank, pretending I needed to verify some transactions for tax purposes. The representative cheerfully confirmed what the screen already told me. All transfers were authorized by the primary account holder, Michael. I searched Riverside Properties LLC and found a luxury real estate company managing vacation rentals in Florida. Emerald Coast Rentals? Same thing, high-end properties in Destin, Fort Walton Beach, Panama City. Then I searched her name, Amanda Castellano. Her Facebook profile was public. Pretty blonde, probably in her early 30s. Her photos showed a life of luxury. Beaches, expensive restaurants, designer clothes, and in several photos, just barely visible or cropped at the edge, I could see him, Michael. His watch, his hand, his smile, the same smile he gave me every morning before kissing me goodbye. I scrolled back through her timeline. The photos went back 4 years. 4! There were pictures of a waterfront condo with floor-to-ceiling windows, a silver convertible BMW. I remember when Michael said his company was testing luxury vehicles for client impressions. Pictures from Paris, Cabo, New York, all trips that happened during his sales conferences. One photo stopped my heart. Amanda, glowing and radiant, holding up a set of keys with a caption, "He surprised me with our dream home. I'm the luckiest woman alive. #blessed, #dream life, #my king." The date? 2 years ago. Our money, our dreams, our future. He'd used it all to build a fantasy life with someone else while I was working double shifts at the hospital, saving for our family, our home, our retirement. He stole from me. Hit that subscribe button if you want to know how this man tried to talk his way out of stealing our entire future. The confrontation. I didn't cry. Not yet. I was beyond tears. I was in that strange, numb space beyond shock where you feel like you're watching your life from outside your body. I took screenshots of everything, the bank statements, the Facebook photos. I called my sister, barely able to form words. She came over within an hour and just held me while I finally fell apart. "You need to call a lawyer," she said quietly, "right now, before you confront him." She was right. I called a divorce attorney that afternoon and made an emergency appointment. Then I waited. Michael was supposed to return from his conference on Thursday. I had 2 days to prepare. When Thursday evening arrived, I heard his key in the door. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it might burst through my chest. He walked in, rolling his suitcase, tie loosened, looking tired but relaxed. "Hey, honey, I missed you," he said, walking over to kiss me. I stepped back. The smile on his face flickered. "We need to talk," I said, my voice surprisingly steady. I'd practiced this moment 100 times in my head. I opened my laptop and turned the screen toward him. Our bank account. The $247.83. "Where is our money, Michael?" Hit that subscribe button if you want to know how this man tried to talk his way out of stealing our entire future. The web of lies unraveled. What followed was 2 hours of gaslighting, lies, partial truths, and finally, when he realized I had evidence he couldn't deny, a complete breakdown. First, he tried confusion. "What do you mean? Did something happen with the account?" Then denial. "Sarah, you're not understanding the statements. Those are investment transfers." Then anger when I showed him Amanda's photos. "You're spying on me, going through my private life?" And finally, when I told him I'd already spoken to a lawyer, he crumbled. The mask shattered, And what I saw underneath was a stranger. The truth came out in broken, pathetic pieces. He'd met Amanda 4.5 years ago at a work conference. It started as an affair, but it evolved into something more. He loved her. He loved me too, he insisted. But it was different. He couldn't choose, so he decided to have both lives. The vacation rental properties, he'd been renting luxury homes for them to use during his fake business trips. The $15,000 transfers to Amanda, he'd been giving her an allowance, calling it consulting fees if I ever noticed. The condo in the photos, he'd paid the down payment, $40,000 of our money, and had been covering her mortgage for 2 years. The pictures from Paris, Cabo, and New York, all with her.
All with her. Funded by the money I'd been saving while working double shifts at the hospital. She thinks I'm divorced, he whispered. She thinks I'm building this life just for her. I felt bile rise in my throat again. You spent our entire future on a lie, on her, while I was working myself to exhaustion, saving for our family, our home, our retirement. You stole from me. You stole years from me. I was going to replace it, he said weakly. I had a plan. Get out, I heard myself screaming. Get out of my house right now. He left that night. I changed the locks the next morning. The next weeks were a blur of lawyers, forensic accountants, and police reports. Yes, police, because what Michael did wasn't just betrayal. It was financial fraud. He'd forged my signature on several large withdrawal forms and had been transferring money without my authorization. The investigation revealed even more devastating details. He'd taken out a secret credit card in both our names, $30,000 in debt I knew nothing about. He'd borrowed $25,000 from his parents, telling them it was for a surprise renovation for me, but had spent it on Amanda. He'd cashed out my portion of his retirement account, another $35,000, claiming it was for medical expenses. In total, Michael had stolen or misdirected approximately $168,000 of our shared money and assets over 4 years. Amanda, when she finally found out the truth, was devastated. She had no idea he was married. She'd believed every word he said. In a strange twist, she reached out to me through Facebook, crying, apologizing, offering to testify against him. She'd been another victim in his web of deceit, manipulated just like I had been. If you're still with me on this journey, please subscribe. Sharing these stories helps break the shame and isolation that comes with this kind of betrayal. In the months that followed, as I sat in my now too quiet house, I tortured myself with questions. How did I miss this? Were there signs I ignored? Looking back, yes, there were tiny inconsistencies. The way he'd tilt his phone away when texting, the work trips that seemed more frequent, the way he'd discourage me from attending his company events, his insistence on handling all the finances. But hindsight is cruel. It shows you things you couldn't possibly have seen while you were living in trust and love. I blamed myself for months. I should have looked at the accounts more carefully. I should have questioned those conferences. I should have. My therapist finally helped me understand this wasn't about what I missed. This was about what he chose to do. He woke up every single day for 4 years and actively chose to deceive me. That wasn't my failure. That was his. The divorce was brutal. Michael tried to claim that the money was invested and that I'd receive my share once those investments matured.
Complete fiction. His lawyer tried to argue that because it was a joint account, he had every right to use the funds. My lawyer tore that argument apart. Intent matters. Community property laws matter. Fraud matters. In the end, the court ruled in my favor. Michael was ordered to pay me back $120,000, essentially my half of what he'd stolen, plus damages. His parents' home had to be used as collateral because he'd already squandered everything else. He lost his job when the company found out about the fraud charges. Amanda sued him in civil court for misrepresentation and fraud. His parents disowned him after learning what he'd done with their money. His perfect house of cards collapsed spectacularly. But my money, most of it is gone. He's making payments, but he's broke, living in a studio apartment, working odd jobs. I'll likely never see most of what he stole. Our dream home, our future, our family plans, all ashes. It's been 18 months since that Tuesday in March. I'm not going to stand here and tell you I'm completely healed, because that would be a lie. Some days I'm angry. Some days I'm sad. Some days I look at couples shopping together and feel a stab of grief for what I lost. But I'm also stronger than I ever thought possible. I've learned to trust myself again. Not to trust others blindly, but to trust my instincts, my worth, my ability to survive. I've rebuilt my savings slowly but surely. It won't be $140,000 anytime soon, but every dollar I add now is mine alone, earned by me, protected by me. I've learned that love shouldn't cost you everything. Real love doesn't drain you, deceive you, or destroy you. It builds you up. I've also learned that betrayal of this magnitude doesn't just break your heart, it breaks your sense of reality. Michael didn't just cheat on me or steal from me. He created an entire alternate universe where I was the naive fool funding his fantasy life. That kind of betrayal makes you question everything: your judgment, your worth, your ability to trust yourself. Recovery isn't linear. It's messy, painful, and slow, but it's happening. If you're watching this and something in your relationship feels off, trust that feeling. You're not crazy. You're not paranoid for wanting transparency in a partnership. Financial infidelity is real, and it's devastating. If your partner is secretive about money, discouraging you from accessing accounts, making large, unexplained transactions, lying about where money is going, hiding debt or credit cards, these are red flags. Address them immediately. Don't let love or trust blind you to behaviors that could destroy your financial future. And if you're going through something like this right now, please hear me. This is not your fault. You loved someone. You trusted someone. That's not a weakness. That's what you're supposed to do in a partnership. The betrayal is on them, not you. You will survive this. It doesn't feel like it now, but you will. And on the other side of this nightmare, you'll be stronger, wiser, and more authentically yourself than you've ever been. They say the opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. I'm working toward indifference. Michael is a chapter in my life that's closed. He doesn't get to occupy space in my head or my heart. Do I wish things had been different? Of course. But I can't change the past. I can only build a new future. One honest dollar at a time. One healed piece of my heart at a time. To everyone who's been betrayed, cheated on, lied to, or had their trust shattered, I see you. You're not alone. And you're going to be okay. This is Sarah, signing out. Thank you for listening to my story.